Welcome to another episode of Restart with Jason Tartick. Today's tutorial topic is going to be the account that you must have. If you don't know about it, it's time to learn about the ins and outs because it's a triple tax advantage account that can help you with your healthcare expenses and saving for your retirement. So let's just get to it. Why waste time? What are we talking about? What we're talking about is a health savings account, also known as an HSA. Ironically enough, October 15th, HSA Day is here, and I am co-hosting a virtual HSA Day. So first and foremost, go to www.hsaday and register for that event. There are phenomenal guests. It's going to be informative, educational, and definitely worth your time. So for right now, once you register, let's get into what an HSA is. So first things first, let's talk about how it's a triple tax advantage account. What do you mean by that? Let me explain. Step one is that the money contributed into an HSA is all pre-taxed. Okay, so when you get paid and it hits your account by a company, the tax has already been taken out. This money will go into the HSA without any tax deductions. That's triple tax advantage one. Number two, the money in there will grow tax-free. So that's tax advantage number two. Three, think about it. If you go to the hospital and you have a major expense and you pay for it, what do you usually do? You pay for it, let's say, out of a checking or savings account. That money's already been taxed, but you're paying for your medical expenses. When you use an HSA account, you can use the funds that went in there pre-tax to pay for those expenses. That, my friends, is a triple tax advantage account. Advantage number two, an HSA will never expire. What do you mean by that? There are some accounts that if you do not use the money towards medical expenses, you only have a certain period of time in which you can use it and it's gone. An HSA rolls over year to year. So you can continue to save for a medical event or your retirement, we'll get that in a minute, even if a medical event doesn't come up. The balances continue to roll over year, similar to just like your other bank accounts do. Number three, ready for this? As the money accrues in your HSA account, while the main purpose is for health expenses, you can invest it. You can invest it in mutual funds, ETFs, individual stocks, etc. And roughly only around 5% of all HSA accounts are being invested. It's a huge opportunity, an advantage that people aren't taking advantage of, but you can. So let's make money on our money and get our HSAs invested. Another huge advantage of an HSA account is that if you have it in place, you can use it to reimburse yourself. Well, what do I mean? Suppose I'm having a little lox and bagel and I cut my finger. Let's suppose the bill's $1,100, okay? But in my HSA account, I only have $500. Well, I could take the pre-tax dollars of $500 to pay the $1,100. I still have a balance of $600, so I have to go to my after-tax money, to my checking account, and pay that $600. Well, what I could do is then fund my HSA account with pre-tax dollars and then reimburse myself for that $600 I had to pay out of pocket with after-tax money. Hopefully at this point I've explained why it makes sense and you already got an HSA, but if you don't, let me give you another example. Another example is creating an emergency fund. I am a huge proponent of creating emergency funds before you start worrying about investing. What a great way to create an emergency fund. Usually healthcare expenses are one of the biggest emergencies we have, and you could do it with all these tax advantages. So building this money up into the HSA account at a pre-tax basis is going to build it quicker. You can also invest it, and therefore you'll have a nice pile of cash should you have any type of healthcare emergency. You're probably watching this like, dude, relax, it's just an HSA. I get it, I probably should. But I get so passionate when there are resources and things that we can utilize to our advantage. But these are just lessons that aren't taught in school, that we're not taught every day. So jump on it. Now, if you're wondering if you qualify for an HSA, let me tell you some of the requirements. You cannot be a dependent on anybody else's taxes. You must be at least 18 years old. You can't have Medicare, TRICARE, or TRICARE for life. And most importantly, you must have a high deductible health insurance plan. I hope this information has been informative. I hope that you are advantageous and you jump on an HSA if you qualify. And most importantly, Join us October 15th as I am co-hosting the virtual HSA Day, and you can register at www.hsaday.com.